Good morning.
Good morning.
All those smiling, happy faces on this nice fall morning. It's so beautiful out. Yes, it's true. We are the only church in the universe that would start the service like this. And the only ones to start with the Doobie Brothers, too. So, you know, and welcome to the Divine Fellowship. I'm Phil. There's Pastor Janice in the back, too, and all those people that you already know and some don't. We have a board of directors, and they're scattered here and there. And so, 21 years next month. Church will be 21 years old. Pretty unbelievable. I saw an article in the paper this morning that said that the number of female pastors in this country has more than doubled in the last couple decades.
Yeah.
So, go figure. But, you know, Janice and I have evolved some over the years, and, you know, we used to call ourselves Christian. But, you know, we really don't do that anymore. We prefer to call ourselves followers of the way. Just because Christianity has been interesting. Yeah. And you know what? And we don't really care what you believe. I mean, from the standpoint that, you know, we have people from all faiths in here, all different belief systems, but they believe that there's something up there. We don't know what it is, maybe. We might have a different name for it, but you know, there's something up there that really, really can influence and help us in our daily lives. Well, with us doing the right things too. We don't just kind of sit around waiting for something to happen. That would be fun, but probably wouldn't work very well. So we prefer to just make sure that you do believe. You know, you have your own belief system, that's wonderful. If it's similar to ours, then you'll find something that you appreciate and go home and think about it, because that's the biggest thing. Biggest compliment you can pay us is to go, huh, well, I'll be darned, what Janice and Phil were talking about today? And they'll think about it for a while. Take it on or not. But we do have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. So, and John said, I believe in God, but not as one thing, not as an old man in the sky. I believe that what people call God is something in all of us. I believe that Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and the rest said was right. It's just the translations have gone wrong. So, and George equally is insightful and reverent. Yeah, right. I'm always relieved that someone is delivering a eulogy and I realize I'm listening to it. Yep, that's George. I've got an avalanche trying to happen here. Okay. More t-shirts, sweatshirts that you could order, although some of them I'm not sure why you would want to, but they can be good. A wise man once said, nothing. Limit politicians to 2 terms, 1 in office, 1 in prison. Respect your elders. They graduated school from the internet. They graduated school without the internet.
Yeah.
So, 7 billion people on the planet, and I can tolerate maybe 10. Been there, done that, then been there several more times because apparently I didn't learn. I've decided I'm not old. I'm 25 plus shipping and handling. I finally got my head together and my body fell apart. I think a man with a helmet defending our country should make more money than a man with a helmet defending a football. Okay. Oops. Oh, stay, please. It may not. All right, things that make you go, You always pass failure on the way to success. Mickey Rooney. A man's character is his fate. The final test of fame is to have a crazy person imagine he is you.
What?
I know, it's like, okay. Makes you think. Success is an accident, well placed. The white area at the base of your fingernail is called the lanula because it resembles A crescent moon, yes, that's correct. I knew I'd have people that knew that one. So that either means you're really, really smart or you've been here before, because I've gone through that book a few times over the last 20 years. So. Oh, I did that one. How did I do that? Got another one here. I know I do. Here we go. Education is not learning. It is the exercise and development of the power of the mind. And the two great methods by which this end may be accomplished are in the halls of learning or in the conflicts of life. Philosophies of life, great truths about growing old. Growing up is mandatory, growing old is optional. Forget the health food, I need all the preservatives I can get. When you fall down, you wonder what else you can do while you're down there. You're getting old when you get the same sensation from a rocking chair that you once got from a roller coaster. It's frustrating when you know all the answers but nobody bothers asking the questions. And time may be a great healer, but it's a lousy beautician. And wisdom comes with age, but sometimes age comes alone. Sometimes. Hey, I don't even have a calendar up here, but I know stuff is going on. Sure. Oh, there's one right there. Do you want to just do it anyway?
Yeah, I have some things I need to talk about.
Okay, you can do that.
Bring up.
Sorry. Okay, so one of the things that I want to talk about is that I'm going to start selling raffle tickets for this beautiful painting that we received. It was gifted to the church.
It's acrylic.
Yeah, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, cool. I'm going to buy some. They're going to be $5 each. I'm going to start setting up at the front entrance there when you come in. So if you'd like to purchase a ticket, just look for me there. And I'll probably start doing that. What would we decide we were going to draw it at, like Thanksgiving or end of November? Okay, so probably maybe next weekend. Next Sunday, we would like you to come to church in costume, if you so desire.
Why, is it Halloween or something?
It's going to be Halloween. Okay. And we're going to do a snack after church, a little snack thingy, so if you would to bring something to share for a snack. And we're going to have a little Halloween party after church, but, appropriate costumes, for mixed company, especially their children are going to be here. So bring your children if you want. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And what was the other thing? Thanksgiving. We're going to have Thanksgiving again here at the church, so if anybody would like to join us, we'll have more to follow on that. I'll send around a sign-up sheet probably around the 1st of November. We're going to have our holiday bazaar. It's going to be December 1st here at the church from 10 to 4. So please help us start passing the word. Lynn has volunteered to help get some of this out into the little newspapers and things like that. Maybe make up some flyers that you guys can hand out. We'd like to try to get as many people in as possible. If you'd like a table, there is a very limited space in here. But if you'd like a table, please let me know so that I can put your name on the list and what you're going to be sharing with everybody. Okay? Let's see.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Get your scarf.
Do you have a pacemaker?
No. It's like a little silver medal thing on my heart here. Let's see, 22nd. Oh, the calendar has Phil with an arrow down on it. It says National Nut Day for Monday. And then believe it or not, there's absolutely nothing else going on until Thursday. Intuitive Tarot with Janice. It's $20. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. And then on Saturday, it's Intuitive Tarot Workshop. That's one that Janice is teaching that would have already been signed up for. And then Art and Soul is from 1:30 to 3:30. Did I miss anything?
Cool. Oh, probably, but
Probably.
we'll get it. We'll get it. Thank you. Thank you. And we have a lot of fun with Thanksgiving. We've been doing that a long time. I don't even know how many years we've been doing it, but Oh, at least that. Yeah, at least that. So then it's for people that want to have someplace to go for Thanksgiving, bring the kids, grandparents, mom and dad, whatever. And it's also for people that don't want to go to grandparents, mom and dad, kids, or whatever. So you do both? Yeah. Or yeah, you could just drop them off, I guess. Yeah, sure. So, okay, yeah, I'm going to just read a few of these. This is back from 2008, okay, and it's still a lot of relevant. You know you're living in 2008 when you accidentally enter your PIN on the microwave. You haven't played solitaire with real cards in years. You have a list of 15 phone numbers to reach your family of 3. You email the person who works at the desk next to you. And of course all the email things can probably be taken care of with text now. So yeah, I know email is so 80s or 90s, that'd be actually 2000s. So yeah. The reason for not staying in touch with friends and family is that you don't have their email. You pull up in your own driveway and use your cell phone to see if anyone is home to help you carry out the groceries. So, yep. And effective education. According to a news report, a private school in Washington was recently faced with a unique problem. A number of 12-year-old girls were beginning to use lipstick and they put it on in the bathroom. That was fine. But after they put on their lipstick, they would press their lips to the mirror, leaving dozens of little lip prints. Every night the maintenance man would remove them, and the next day the girls would put them back. Finally, the principal decided that something had to be done. She called all the girls to the bathroom, and obviously a small school, and met them there with the maintenance man. She explained that all these little lip prints were causing a major problem for the custodian, who had to clean the mirror every night. You can imagine the yawns from the little princesses. To demonstrate how difficult it was, though, to clean the mirrors, she asked the maintenance man to show the girls how much effort it did require. He took out his long-handled squeegee, dipped it in the toilet, and cleaned the mirror with it. Since then, there have been no lip prints on the mirrors. There are teachers, and then there are teachers. So. Yep. Yeah. Oh, if I could only have remembered something like that. That would be great. That would be great. I have, and I actually remember the song that I have queued up. That's the other thing at the Divine Fellowship. If you're going to come here and actually do old church hymns, actually we do that every once in a while, and it is kind of fun. We enjoy doing that. The one coming up is not. So if you're in your 60-ish time frame, you will recognize the song as one of the truly greats. And
why, thank you, sir.
Magic fingers. Take my coffee and go.
Get out. You do pray for me? Huh?
Tell everybody this is coffee.
Yo. Oh, Lord. I don't know what to say about that.
That's right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the reason why at the Divine Fellowship we tell silly stories and tell silly jokes and things like that and help you laugh first thing in the morning is because it's really hard to take in new information when we're grumpy. So it's a ploy, a conspiracy to get you out of yourself so that you can be open. And not just, yeah, might as well have fun doing it. And Phil and I, if it ain't fun, why are we doing it anyway, right? It's got to be fun. Life is fun. Stuff happens, but it doesn't have to destroy our happy. We get to choose happy about where we're at. I want to chat with you today a little bit about sacred ground. And there's several things that I want to share with you about that. I have no real idea where this is all going because I'm given little bits and pieces throughout the week of what is important for me to share with you. And then I arrive, and then somehow it magically puts itself together. So it's kind of scary on my end. So fasten your seatbelts, here we go. Sacred ground. Sacred ground is that space where we are empowered. That sacred ground is the place where we are true to ourselves. Oh, darn, that's really, really hard, isn't it? It's hard to be in that place where we're true to ourselves because we feel like we have to make everybody else happy. And those of us who are empathic or sensitives tend to be more leaning towards the need to make everybody else's world okay. Because if their world is okay, we don't have to feel their pain, right? Right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, but that isn't necessarily sacred ground. And when we're not on sacred ground, our energy is diminished. Our power is diminished. Our strength is diminished. So we're not living to our highest potential. We're not happy. Happy is really important. And we give our power away to the dumbest things, do we not? We give our power away to the past, what we shoulda, coulda, woulda done. And then we give our power away to the things that we think we should do in the future or something might happen. We give all of our energy away to those things. And we don't stay here in the here and now where our power is, and we can't walk our sacred ground. In the biblical times, if there was sacred ground, is there tissue? You got a box of tissue there? I don't know why. I get in the front of the room, nose runs. What's the fun of that? I don't know. When there was sacred ground, like at Jacob, when he saw the Jacob's ladder, had the dream, the vision, where Jacob, he had to erect some stones. He put some stone blocks and he declared the land sacred ground. How many of you have had a spiritual experience? Okay? How many of you think you might have, but you're not really sure, but it could have been? Got a couple more of those. Okay. We're having spiritual experiences all the time. Those synchronicities that you just can't make it up. It's like, how did that happen? I don't know. That's a sacred experience. That is a powerful spiritual experience. And when we have those, we're on sacred ground. And where are you having those things? Everywhere. Wherever you walk, when you walk with intent, you're on sacred ground. If we're walking to please somebody else, we're no longer on sacred ground. We're on the old quicksand, and next thing you know, we're drowning. We don't have that solid foundation that we're looking for. The solid foundation comes from standing on sacred ground, which comes from our intent. And our intent to live from our will, our willingness to be connected to spirit, to fulfill our divine purpose. And we get all hung up on, well, our divine purpose, what is that? I don't know. It should be something really big and huge, and I don't know what it is, and I must be a failure because I can't find it yet. No. No. Sometimes I think our sacred purpose is kindness, compassion, tenderness in the moment. That kind word to somebody that you are never going to get anything back from them, but you have uplifted them. And in that moment, not only are you walking sacred ground, but you help them find their sacred ground. How powerful is that? That's amazing. But we tend to want to make sacred ground something that or our big giant purpose in life has to be this well-defined, this is what it is, I'm going to do this 24/7. Well, live with intent 24/7. That's walking sacred ground. That's being on sacred ground all the time. And you have the ability to do that. It's not outside of your reach. Just a second. I'm being drawn to the Bible verse, and I don't know why. So, let me share this with you. I stumbled across this the other day. I think this is hilarious. I don't know. I may be the only one. This is God talking. To whom then will you liken me? So who's like God? Who's like me? That I should be his equal, says the Holy One. Lift your eyes up on high and see who has created these stars, the one who leads forth their host by number. He calls them all by name, the stars, calls them all by name. Because of the greatness of his might and the strength of his power, not one of them is missing. You're not missing either. You're not abandoned, you're not lost. If we feel abandoned and we feel lost, it's because we've forgotten who we are momentarily. And we do that because we get caught up in what everybody else thinks we should be doing.
Where was that passage?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm terrible about that. Isaiah 40, verse 25 and 26. And then you turn the page, well, at least in my book, you turn the page. Verses 29, 30, and 31. I've read this to you before, and I just love this. He gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might, he increases power. Though youths grow weary and very tired, vigorous young men stumble badly, yet those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not become weary. This wait for the Lord, that's hope. That's standing on sacred ground and waiting and being patient. Oh, I hate that. You know, wait is a 4-letter word, not to be spoken in polite company. But when we can just stand sacred ground, the next thing that we're meant to do will reveal itself. Because here's the thing. Some of you know I went to Sedona with my brother a few months ago. We went to the Sedona Method Workshop. And one of the things that the founder, Hale Dwoskin, shared, was that when we get so busy trying to figure it out, when we get all in, I'm not the only one that does that, I'm sure. That's why I did such a good example of that, is because I'm familiar with that. When we get in that state of being, we short circuit that natural flow of intuition. We short circuit that natural connection with divine source. We short circuit our creativity. We bind ourselves. We're handcuffed, we're chained up. When if we stand sacred ground and just stand, just be, allow ourselves to be who we are, then insights happen effortlessly. But we're too busy making a lot of effort about it. Hale would call that efforting. We're busy efforting. But we do, don't we? We struggle, and sometimes we struggle and we grow weary. Anyone would grow weary with that. But when we have hope that the being that keeps the stars all in the alignment, not one of them is missing. If we can have hope in that, then we tap into this huge flow of energy, this huge flow of understanding, this huge flow of awareness that leads us to the next thing, the next right step, or leads us to towards our goal. It doesn't mean we don't have to have goals, but it's the effort that we put, or the struggle that we put ourselves into, rather than just going, oh, I'm going that way, and letting it go and just doing what we need to do. He is like the poster child for manifesting. Because he'll say, well, 5 years from now, I want us to do this, that, and the other thing, and I want this to happen. this amount of money in the bank account, this trip happened, whatever. And he doesn't do one more thing about that. He just does what he does. And opportunities will show up. It's just amazing. It's just mind-blowing. I mean, how can that be? But it is. Because he set his intent on the goal. And he set his hope in divine nature. And then he does his part. And he lets God do God's part. Most of the time we're busy doing God's part, figuring it out, making it happen, struggling, all that. And we're not doing our part. We're not doing the next right thing with a joyful, open heart. And we lose that sacred ground. I've told people before, you know, of course I teach a lot of intuitive classes. If you want to get higher in your spiritual life, get more grounded. And how do you do that? Well, you get grounded, you get aware of the here and now. When you're aware of the here and now, you're standing sacred ground. And that's where your power is. And that's where you're in the flow of all this awareness and this intense energy that guides, directs, and blesses your life. Because the one that knows where the stars are and keeps them in their place, hasn't lost one yet, that one knows what your goal is. That one has an eye on your goal. That one knows what to bring into your pathway to help you get to there. So what is our intent? What is stating our intent? Let me chat with you just a moment about that. When we say, I intend to do blah, 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 that sets us up for that direction. But that's not what I'm talking about. We can say, I want to do this, or I want to have that. That doesn't set us up for what we're talking about. The intent I'm talking about is beyond that. Because the intent that we normally have, well, I intended to do that, but I didn't. Remember, we can do that. So that's not the intent. That's that little tiny, it's not even willingness. How can I say this? It's a part of us that it's kind of wishy-washy. Yeah, wishful thinking kind of thing. My wishful thinking. Well, you know, I intend to clean house. I intend to clean that closet. Nothing ever happens. And yet, I can have an intent, and next thing I know, that closet is clear. And I've done it, and I haven't put any effort into it other than moving things around. Effortless. So it's not that intent that we imagine. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the intent that comes from within the soul, within your spiritual being. That setting of the course, that assurance, that rock solid, hell or high water, this is what's going to be. Does that make sense? That's different. And I'm using the word intent, but it has more than one meaning. So I want you to be really clear that the intent I'm talking about is the intent of the heart, the intent of the will, in alignment with the intent of spirit, not that superficial, I intend to do that kind of thing. Make sense? I wish there was a different word. Maybe we can come up with a different word for that. Yes, Phil? Belief? Yeah, you have that strong belief. You don't know how, don't have to know how. See, that's the thing, we don't have to know how. It's not our business how. Our business is to have that belief and lock it in. The knowing from your heart space. Knowing. It's that deep awareness and the choice from within. It does override. It overrides all that doubt and fear and exhaustion that comes along. Because it's power and it's energy and it feeds our soul constantly. So where do you want to be in 5 years? No. Well, that's where you're going to be, is no. It's okay to set goals, and it's really imperative, I think, to set goals. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? What is your heart yearning for? To be the love that I am every day. When we have a set, but within that, we can have specific physical realm goals. Okay? I want to have a different job. I want to have a different place to live. I want to have this or that or the other thing. You get to do that. And again, watch what we say. Because even though I use the word want, it's imperative to not use the word want, because want leaves us wanting. We can either want or we can be in the process of acquiring. So I'm choosing for myself, blah, 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 whatever. That makes sense? And in the meantime, everything you do is walking sacred ground. Everything you do is your foot on the path. And if you're not meant to go a direction, have you ever had a roadblock? A roadblock? Yeah. And you know that, well, but I want to go that way. And little do you know that going this way gets you something even better than that. Because we think, well, we've got to control it. We've got to do it our way. Here's what I'm envisioning. I see it, and it's got to look just like that or it's not okay. And yet something better might be available for us. Trust. It's trust. Big time. Big time. And we don't do that because we're not walking sacred ground. We're busy walking what we think we should be doing or what we think other people expect of us. Walk your sacred path by knowing who you are and who you are not. What you're willing to do and what you're willing not to do. Those other things are anchors that pull you back, hold you back, and don't allow this road of discovery. Everything is this road of discovery. When we move into a place where we have this open awareness, we feel safe enough to try new things. We feel safe enough to step out of our comfort zone and know that whatever step we take, it's sacred ground. And even though things become difficult, some of you are facing some really difficult stuff right now, even though things are difficult, that doesn't mean you're bad, doesn't mean you failed, doesn't mean you're wrong. You're still walking sacred ground. Just means you're going through and not around. So have faith in that. And that's when you will gain new strength. You will mount up with wings like eagles. You will run and not get tired. You will walk and not become weary. Because the energy, the flow, you're getting in the flow, that's exciting. And that feeds on itself. And we want that, do we not? We want to have that flow of energy, that excitement for life. And the first step to that is joy. Thank you for the song this morning, Phil. Joy to the world. It's absolutely imperative to step into a state of joy. And we do that by shifting our thinking. So what's the fastest way to shift our thinking? Take a deep breath and exhale. That helps shift our thinking. Having a laugh shifts our thinking. Getting grounded on sacred ground then allows us to shift our thinking and allows us to reach higher. So let's do a guided meditation where we do that, shall we?